Have you ever felt this? Some reckless driver cuts you off on your way to work, disappears in 3 seconds, and yet that anger clings to you for the next 8 hours at the office. You walk into the building with a scowl, snap at your coworkers, and end up ruining your entire evening with your family. What if I told you that feeling only actually lasts for 90 seconds unless you keep feeding it? Here's the truth. Anger is a choice. Neurologically, the stress chemicals that create anger are naturally flushed from your system in exactly 90 seconds. But we keep that anger alive by replaying the story over and over, rehearsing our comebacks to a difficult client. Today, we're breaking down a brain secret that can completely transform how you react to the world, the 90-second rule. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to take back the remote control of your life from everyone else. Part 1. The 90-second rule. A lot of people believe they just have a short fuse, that being hot-headed is part of their DNA. But neurologically speaking, anger isn't a life sentence. When you get triggered, maybe someone insults you, or a client sends a completely unreasonable email, your amygdala kicks into fight or flight mode. In that instant, a wave of chemicals, including adrenaline and cortisol, floods your bloodstream. Here's the kicker. That chemical surge takes exactly 90 seconds to flush through your system and vanish completely. If you're still angry after those 90 seconds, it's no longer biological. It's because you're telling yourself a story. You're replaying it in your head. He's disrespecting me. This is unacceptable. I need to teach him a lesson. Every time you ruminate on that story, you're signaling your brain to pump out a fresh batch of those stress chemicals. Think of anger like a small fire. The biological reaction is the spark, but your thoughts are the gasoline. That spark would die out on its own if it ran out of oxygen, but instead, we usually choose to fan the flames. Part 2. Mastering your emotional buttons. We often hear people say, "He really knows how to push my buttons." This implies that you're just a TV and someone else is holding the remote. They hit the anger button and your face turns red. They hit the shame button and you hang your head. But ask yourself, who installed those buttons in the first place? The reality is, no one has the power to make you feel miserable unless there's already a corresponding wound inside you. If you lose your cool when your boss gives you mild feedback, your button might actually be a fear of judgment rooted in your childhood. If you blow up when your partner takes too long to text back, your button is likely a deep-seated fear of abandonment. Instead of blaming the finger that pushes the button, start asking why that button is there at all. When you realize that anger is just an alarm for an unhealed wound within yourself, you stop seeing the other person as an enemy. Instead, you start seeing them as a free X-ray technician. They've just pointed out exactly where your soul needs a little healing. Part 3. Understanding secondary emotions. In behavioral psychology, anger is rarely the root emotion. It's almost always a secondary emotion. Think of your anger as a massive aggressive security guard standing at the door. Why is he there? He's there to protect the vulnerable child inside, your hurt, your fear, or your bruised ego. When you blow up at your partner because they forgot your anniversary, you're not actually angry about a date on the calendar. You're hurt because you feel like you no longer matter to them. When you're fuming because a coworker took credit for your work, you're actually afraid that your value isn't being recognized. The next time you're about to explode, take a breath and ask that security guard, what pain are you hiding back there? The moment you name the underlying vulnerability, like saying, "I'm feeling abandoned," the anger naturally starts to cool down. It simply no longer has a job to do. Part 4. The space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps, once wrote a legendary line, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." People with high emotional intelligence aren't people who never get angry. They are simply people who possess a wider space than the average person. Think about it this way. You have the reactive person, where a stimulus leads directly to an explosion, leaving zero space in between. But then, you have the emotional master. When a stimulus hits, they pause for that 90-second observation. and only then do they choose the most appropriate response. The way to expand this space is through a technique called the observer self. Instead of saying, "I am angry," try saying, "I notice a feeling of anger rising within my body." This subtle shift in language helps detach yourself from the emotion. You are not the storm. You are the sky that contains the storm. The storm can come and go, but the sky remains vast and still. Part 5. Cognitive reframing. This is my favorite part, and it's incredibly effective. Think of your life as a giant gym. The kind, easygoing people you meet, they're just light, cardio, easy and breezy. But the rude, bossy, or complaining people, those are the heavy weights. You don't build muscle by lifting feathers. Similarly, you can't build emotional resilience if your life is filled with yes men who always agree with you. That overbearing boss of yours, they're helping you train your patience muscle. That nosy neighbor, they're giving you a high-intensity workout in setting boundaries. When you look at a difficult person and think, "Thanks, coach, this is a heavy set today, but I've got this," your entire status changes. You're no longer a victim being bothered by them. You're an athlete crushing your workout. Part 6. The Story Editor Strategy. As we talked about in Part 1, anger survives on gasoline, and that gasoline is the story you tell yourself. So, why not edit the script? Try applying what I call the generosity of interpretation. The old story. He's intentionally ignoring my text just to prove he's more important than me. Result: pure anger. The new story. Maybe he's just having a rough day, his phone died, or he's caught up in an emergency. Result: compassion, or at the very least, calm. Look, you don't actually need to know which story is 100% true, but if both are just theories, why not choose the one that gives you peace of mind? That's not being delusional. It's being intentional about prioritizing your own mental health. Conclusion: the people who seem unbothered by the world aren't born different. They've just practiced these skills until they became automatic. You can do it too. For the next week, I want you to take the 90-second observation challenge. Give it a try, and then come back here to comment on how it felt. The challenge is simple. Whenever you feel your heart racing or your face heating up from frustration, look at the clock. Don't say a word. Don't send that text. For those 90 seconds, just watch the chemicals in your body dissolve. You'll be amazed to find that after 90 seconds, the monster you were just facing turns out to be nothing but a cloud of smoke. Have you ever tried this pause rule before? Or is there a specific button you're still trying to uninstall? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your DeepShift journey. If you're ready to reclaim your peace, drop a comment with "I choose peace" to make that commitment to yourself and join the challenge. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching until the very end. I'll see you in the next one.